The crazy thing about this development is it's supposed to bring in 150,000 people. So you're essentially building a city almost the size of Barrie in between Innisfil and Barrie. Things that are going to hold their value most are large lots. So if you're, 60 by 150 or 50 even by 100, though they're all antiques. Or if you have a 75 by 200, I know there's quite a few properties around like that as well. If you're paying your premium now of $50,000-$75,000, once developments like this start to come in and start to come to fruition, they're antiques. You're not making those lots anymore. You're not getting a 75-foot lot in this orbit development. You'll be lucky if you get a back-to-back townhouse from the looks of things. It looks very high density.
What is up, YouTube? Matt McKeever here. We're back with Colby Marshall talking about the Barrie area real estate market. And I know we've got some big announcements for the surrounding area, so we're excited to jump into that. I'm also excited just to hear what's going on with the Barrie market. We've been touching base with a bunch of realtors across the province, and this summer, like last summer, it's been kind of an unusual summer. So excited to hear what's kind of going on in your corner of the world, Colby. So how are you doing?
Good. Yeah, lots of cool things to talk about. We'll get right into her. So we got the market update. A couple things we want to touch on today is we'll go over the stats. So we got Barrie, Orillia, Innisfil. We'll do the stats for those areas. What's going on inventory-wise, things like that. We'll give you a quick update of the garden suite bylaw change that's been ongoing here over the summer in Barrie. There's a cool new development in the downtown core of Barrie we're going to touch on. And there is a mega development that just got an MZO in Innisfil. So if you don't know what an MZO is or the mega development that's going in, definitely tune in till the very end there, and we'll be touching on that as well. So let's get right into her. Again, this is a map of Simcoe County. Some of the areas we'll be talking about here will be Barrie, which is this area in here, Innisfil, which is this area here, and Orillia as well, which is up in here. These are the three key areas right now in Simcoe County that are allowing the garden suites, and I know everybody is keeping a pulse on that pretty closely. So these are the three hot button areas we're going to talk about. The Barrie stats for August, we've seen a slight price decline. Seasonality wise, again, things were pretty slow. Not really too concerned about it. Next month when the kids go back to school is when things get more aggressive. A lot more inventory will come on, and you tend to see more bidding wars. Prices start to increase. So August, as per usual, is a pretty sluggish month. So I'm not surprised to see that at all. Here is the active inventory. So again, summertime, everyone's on vacation. Look at the inventory here. It's been less than July. If you look back to what the inventory was back in September 2020, it's almost double, or is double, essentially, of what happens. So, summer months are slow. Everyone's out doing their thing, vacationing, this, that, and the other. But the fall market officially usually starts in September after the long weekend. And, just compared to last year, huge amount of listings in September and then a decline into the winter, which is usually about par for the course. So nothing really crazy happening. This is an interesting slide for Barrie. This is the list price versus the sale price. So the list price is actually higher than the sale price in Barrie. I think this is more towards the higher price points because a lot of the stuff that our investors are looking for, the $600 to $750 kind of price range where you can do a second suite and a garden suite. They're still going like hotcakes, anything on the bigger lots that would be approved. Something that also might be affecting this as well is the lack of buyers in the area because all the investors are kind of in limbo. If they are keeping a pulse of what's going on in the garden suites, you're kind of in limbo right now until council makes a decision. So this might be pushing buyers into the other two marketplaces we're going to be talking about, but we're not too sure. This is the first time, as you can see, until November of 2020 was the last time that the list price was higher than the sale price. And this is all pushed through by competing offers. So something to keep an eye on. But again, a lot of the investors probably aren't in this market space right now just because it's in limbo. So nothing to worry about there. Orillia, what's going on? Slight price increase opposed to Barrie, which was a decrease. Again, you know, it's all no investors are buying in this area right now because we're in limbo. We don't know what's going to be approved for garden suites, which is basically the only investment vehicle that makes sense cash flow wise. So, you know, the fact that everyone's probably going to Orillia and Innisfil, it makes sense that, you know, prices would be increasing, and we've seen a little bit of a downtick maybe in the Barrie area just due to that legislation not having any guidance
clarity. Yeah.
So, you know, some big policies like this really will affect the areas. And if Barrie doesn't come out with something that will push through affordable housing in an affordable and time conscious way, then, you know, we could see a decline in prices in Barrie if it doesn't go through properly. So, but yeah, this is Orillia. Prices have went up since last month. And again, seasonality wise, this is the active amount of listings. So August usually sluggish. Again, compare it back to September of 2020. This is what you'll probably see next month, closer to the 50 listing kind of ordeal. So again, inventory wise is low. It's not uncommon for this time of year. This has the sale price above the list price, which we see very prevalently in Orillia, and is quite substantially a bit above the list price. So we're still seeing competing offers as well in Orillia. Innisfil stats, we've seen a large price increase here. I'm not too sure. It's probably a couple sales that have skewed that up quite a bit. A lot of the waterfronts and stuff like that. There are some larger properties that do tend to skew things up in Innisfil at time to time as well. Active number of listings, as per everywhere else, is lower. And again, you can see September of last year. This is more of a normalized fall market, so we'll probably see the inventory jump in the next couple of weeks here once the kids go back to school.
Right.
Sale price here is above list price. So again, these two areas are open for business for garden suites. They're not limbo like Barrie. So, you know, we can see maybe that the investors have dissipated from Barrie for the time being until this happens. I'm not saying that we drive all the prices in Barrie, but it's a good thought to think.
It's a factor, yeah.
Yeah, we do chew up a lot of inventory, the investor group. So that could be kind of attributing to what we're seeing here in the Barrie marketplace.
Yeah, appreciate you sharing that perspective.
So just want to touch on a couple things. Update on Barrie's garden suite bylaw. We haven't really heard too much on what they're going to be proposing. So there was a secondary public meeting held for residents. So last month we talked about, we had a stakeholders meeting. So the stakeholder meeting was for people like myself, the BK group, all the guys that are moving and shaking in the Barrie area with the garden suites. There's probably about a dozen of us on there. We basically pled our case to the planning department. They took notes. There was a public meeting now with the actual residents. So these are the people that are very upset this is happening. They're trying to implement red tape, more studies to be done. It'll slow the process down. Basically, the negative side of the meeting. This was held this week. So the zoning staff now has had a meeting with the stakeholders, i.e. the investors and the upset public. So now they're going to essentially take those notes, put them together, and they are going to be resubmitting to staff at the September council meeting. I'm trying to tie down the exact date for that. My understanding is the second or third week of September. So we will be tuned into that for sure and know what is going on. But that is where we're at with the garden suite bylaw. So not too much of an update until this council meeting. We won't know what they're proposing probably until a couple days before. So we will have an update for you on that on our September video or in October for sure. So that's the update for the Barrie Garden Suite bylaw. Now we got a couple development sites that are coming to fruition, and I just want to touch on those and what that means for investors as well. So this is a new development that is just been approved in the Barrie downtown core. Just wanted to kind of show, you know, this is a 17-story building. It's right across from City Hall. This was actually a surplus parking lot that the city of Barrie sold to a developer. So it's a 17-story building, 136 units, and it's not even on half an acre. So you can just see the amount of density and everything that the city wants to see in the downtown core. Word around town is the whole entire downtown core of Barrie pretty well has to be high-rise towers in the next 10 to 15 years for Barrie to hit their growth numbers. So you're going to see a lot more of this. And again, 0.4 of an acre isn't a very big lot. So the fact that they're getting this kind of numbers on that kind of space, it's pretty impressive and great for our land assembly guys, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the next one is the mega development that is going in Innisfil. So I'm sure some of the people, you might have seen in the newspaper, the Orbit development that's been proposed. I think it was proposed probably 3 or 4 years ago. It actually just got its ministerial zoning order. So this essentially means that the developer went right to the top dogs of the affordable housing at the provincial level and said that we really need this to create affordable housing and help create inventory. So actually, Doug Ford gave them the nod back about 2 weeks ago, and gave them the ministerial zoning order, which basically is going to fast track this development. This is kind of built around the transportation hub, which should be basically pushing all the transportation from Barrie, Innisfil, all the way down to downtown Toronto. The hub of this is going to be a new GO station. The crazy thing about this development is it's supposed to bring in 150,000 people. So you're essentially building a city almost the size of Barrie in between Innisfil and Barrie. So there's no real timelines or any dates on this. They do have this zoning order, so they kind of get carte blanche to push stuff through at a more timely and effective way, because the province is mandating that they want to see this happen. So they're going to be getting special treatment, and 150,000 is a lot of people. So it's a whole new kind of development we don't really see in Canada too often. I know in China, you see this big time. They have the ring developments where they build out from their city centers. So it's pretty cool to see this, and we're definitely going to be keeping an eye on this, and we'll be keeping you guys abreast of what's going on there. But 150,000 people, that's a lot of people.
So obviously there's still a lot of details to come out, Colby, but for someone that's, maybe they were thinking about getting into the Barrie market or Innisfil, do you mind sharing your perspective, just kind of a hot take as a realtor and maybe a hot take as like just an investor?
Yeah. So the biggest thing I've always preached is buy big lots. They're basically antiques. They don't make them anymore. If you look at this, do you see any single family homes? Not really. Everything's going to be high density, mid-rise buildings, stacked townhouses, condo buildings. So the things that are going to hold their value most are large lots. So if you're, 60 by 150 or 50 even by 100, they're all antiques. Or if you have a 75 by 200, I know there's quite a few properties around like that as well. If you're paying your premium now of $50,000, $75,000, once developments like this start to come in and start to come to fruition, they're antiques. You're not making those lots anymore. You're not getting a 75-foot lot in this Orbit development. You'll be lucky if you get a back-to-back townhouse from the looks of things. It looks very high density. So I've always preached, the bigger the lot, even if you're paying a bit more, you'll see a huge increase in value. All the annex land that Barrie took over from Innisfil back 10, 12 years ago, it's coming on now too. And we're seeing lot sizes like 30 by 90. So, if you're having an in-town lot, 60 by 150 or the 75 by 200s, in 5-10 years, either that house is going to be able to be sold for such a premium because the lot is so big, or you'll be able to sever it or intensify it to a point where the value of the land will be worth more than what the house is my guess. The whole county of Simcoe right now is going through something called their MCR, which is a municipal comprehensive review. And they're actually designating growth for the next 10 years in all these townships. So all these townships, to meet these new growth numbers, have to come out with new official plans and new zoning bylaws in the next probably 2 to 5 years. So we're going to be seeing all that coming on board as well. And we're going to see a lot of intensification. So my biggest thing is if you can pay a little more and get a bigger lot, definitely go that way, especially with a lot of these really dense intensified sites coming up. because everyone's going to be packed in there pretty good. And if you got some space, you know, somewhere else on a larger lot, I think they'll hold their value. Just like an antique, the more and more that this stuff is built, those will be worth more and more because people want their space.
Yeah, appreciate you sharing that perspective.
So that's a bit of the update. We'll just give you the lowdown of what we do and how we do things. I am a realtor by trade, and we also run another company called Marshall's Complete Investment Solutions, or MCIS. We provide end-to-end project management on top of the acquisition of the real estate as well. So if you need anything built, second suites, triplexes, garden suites, land severances, land assemblies, land development, help on basically anything to do with investing in real estate, and you need professionals or contractors or what have you, definitely give us a call. We'd be more than happy to help. We've got a turnkey power team that can help you with all your needs. We'll find the properties. We've got design teams. We'll acquire and apply for all permit certifications. Our contractors will complete all the needed work, or engineers or planners, anything depending on what level you're at. We apply for eco credits and things like that on your behalf, and certain rebates and HST rebates. We introduce you to our suppliers for our building materials, our appliance distributors, and get you good costs and builder costs on that. We've got a property management team that we work with as well, all in-house, and a paralegal to help back us up if things get testy with tenants. So if you want to plug into our power team, by all means, give us a call. We can help you one way or another. We also use a project management software, which is an app that goes right onto your phone. All your construction will be updated in real time. So your floor plans, your invoices, anything involved, we usually update on your builder trend, and it's updated in real time right onto your app. So it's a great little tool that we've been doing, and people are loving it, especially your JVs. We can actually brand the app to your JV partner, and they can get the updates with your branding on it. So a lot of the JV people that focus on that side of the business are loving that as well. And we are a Ontario registered builder. So to be building the garden suites at the amount of volume that we are building them at, you should be Ontario registered with the province of Ontario. We're fully insured. We have builder's risk insurance, fire liability, the whole to-do. It costs us an arm and a leg. So, you know, we do know what we're doing. We're fully qualified, fully registered, and fully insured. So if you need anything done, definitely give us a call, and we'd be more than happy to help. And we do service all of Simcoe County. So Barrie, Orillia, Innisfil are our key markets at this particular point. And it's great to be on the show.
Awesome. Yeah, really appreciate you just updating us, Colby. Obviously, that's some really exciting stuff in regards to the new development. I'm sure it's still going to end up being a little bit down the pipeline before we see it, but I love the forward thinking, right? Thinking about, hey, what's going to be still unique about Barrie or Innisfil properties? And it's like, well, those old lots, you're 100% right. They're not going to, builders today, developers today, they're going to try and put it on as small of a postage stamp lot as you can get away with. And, you know, when you're talking about 0.41 of an acre and someone building 17 stories on it, well, some of those 75 by 200 acre lots aren't that far off from necessarily being a half an acre, right? So really interesting to really think about those things, because I think that that's something that an inexperienced investor and inexperienced realtor can easily overlook, right? And just like, oh, there's going to be density, I guess more people, maybe prices go up, but I'm sure we're going to see certain properties, certain neighborhoods benefit greater than others, and really appreciate your insights on that.
Yeah, no, it's exciting stuff. And again, 150,000 people. That's like Barrie's last census was just over that, I think. So that was probably 4 years ago now, because I think we just did our census. So that's basically the size of Barrie as it sat, say, 5 years ago.
Yeah.
What they're going to be building between Innisfil and Barrie. So that's pretty intense for sure.
Yeah. And reminder, guys, well, right now there's a little bit of uncertainty around Barrie and doing the garden suites right now. I'm guessing a lot of your investors are, like you mentioned, they're going after Orillia, Innisfil, and the other markets where it's still a clear path forward on being able to execute those projects. Yeah,
absolutely. Barrie's in limbo, so we just can't advise somebody to buy something and then it change, and you can't get the end product that you want. So again, you've seen the stats. Orillia's booming, Innisfil's booming. Barrie's kind of a little bit in limbo. And I think that could be one of the attributing factors to that for sure. So,
Yeah. And if you guys want to get in contact with Colby, we've got all his contact information in the video description down below. Really encourage you guys to reach out. I think that this video is a perfect example of why you need to make sure you've got the right expert on your team. And obviously you've got the power team already set up for any of your clients. So again, really appreciate you sharing your insights and looking forward to chatting next month. And hopefully by then we'll have a little bit more insights on what's going on in Barrie.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll have a path from there. And yeah, we're excited to see what's going to happen for sure. Thanks for having me out.